Welcome back. Just like I said in the last video, in this video we'll start working on our project. And to start with, this video will be setting up our project, okay? And the link to the starter file, like I said in our previous video, the link is in the description below. All right, so the link is going to direct you to this GitHub repository. Okay, this is our starter file. Okay, so from here you can download the repository. Okay, so you are going to click on the green button. If you are not so familiar with GitHub, then you are going to click on the download zip link. Okay, so that is going to download the starter file for you in a zip format, as you can see now. Right, so I'm going to unzip this now, and I'm going to open it with VS Code. All right, I think I'm done with this. I can close it. Okay, so I'm going to move the downloaded file. I'm going to move it to my desktop so that you can we can easily work with it on my desktop. So I'm going to first extract the project. I'm going to extract it here. All right, so this is the folder. Now I'm going to open it with VS Code. Okay, you can use any of your favorite IDE. Okay, but I'll be using VS Code. All right, it has been opened on my okay, so this is it here. All right, let me zoom this in so that you can see this much more clearly. All right, let me drag this to the right here. Okay, so to start with, let's start installing our dependencies. So as we're installing our dependencies, we'll now have a look around of what we have there. Okay, so let me close the terminal. What I did here. All right, let me just, okay, so we're going to install. I want to drag this down there. All right, so to install our dependencies, you are going to run the command npm install. Okay, so that is going to install our dependencies for us. Okay, so now let's have a walkthrough of our dependencies. Okay, so we have the Upstart Redis clients. You know, like I said, we'll be using Redis to store our user sessions. All right, so we'll be using the Upstart Redis clients. All right, if you don't know how to set up a Redis instance on Upstart, I have a video on that. I will include the link in the description, so you can just look through the video and set up a Redis instance. We'll be needing it for our session management in this project. Okay, we also have the Bcrypt.js package. We'll be using that to hash our user password. All right, we will not be storing our user password as a plain text. We need to hash the password so that if anybody bump on our database, they will not have any idea of what our user passwords are. Okay, so all these are from shardcn. The toaster you saw in our last video, the toaster we'll be using in the project is from shardcn. Okay, so all these are from shardcn. Okay, and we also have the Lucid React. The project is built on Next.js. All right, but even if you are not using Next.js, don't let that discourage you. The main purpose is for you to understand how user authentication works, the complete flow of the user authentication. So if you understand it, if you have a good grasp of it, then you can replicate authentication using your favorite stack. But for this project, we'll be using Next.js. Okay, this comes with shardcn. All right, we have node mailer. Okay, so this is the package we'll be using to send emails to our users, either for verification, for resetting password. So we'll be using node mailer to send mails to our user. You can also use your favorite email service provider. You have Mailgun, you have several providers. You can use anyone you like, but for this project, we'll be using node mailer. It is free. You can send as many emails as possible. All right, we also have the pg module. All right, so this is the node package you can use with Postgres. In this project, we'll be using Postgres database to store our users data, right? So this pg module is the node package that we use to interact with our Postgres database. Okay, and we have the Postgres array package. All right, you know, in the project we'll be storing data we'll be storing array data type in a database. Okay, but Postgres returns array as a string, so we're going to use this module to turn Postgres array string format. We'll be using it to turn it to JavaScript array format. All right, so we have React DOM. Okay, so Next.js is built on those, and we have React icons. We'll be using some icons from the React icons library, like a Google icon, your GitHub icon, and you have so many icons at your disposal. All right, we also have the server only package. We'll be using the server only package to mark some of our files, some of the functions that we only want them to be executed on the server. So we use the server only package to mark them so that we will not by mistake use those functions on the client side. If you any package, any file, any function you've marked with server only, if you mistakenly use them on the client, so that is going to raise error for you. Okay, and then we have the Sonar package. The shardcn toaster is built on this Sonar package, so that's why we have it. We have all this also from shardcn, and then we have Zod. Zod is what we'll be using to validate data both on the front end and on the back end. So we have these dev dependencies. We use these dependencies in our development environments. Most of these are types. Okay, you know, we'll be using TypeScript. Okay, TypeScript with Next.js. So your TypeScript needs types. All right, and we also have Tailwind CSS here. Okay, so we'll be using Tailwind CSS for styling. All right, okay, we have ESLint, we have Node pg-migrate. Okay, so we'll be using this Node pg-migrate to do schema migration for our Postgres database. All right, even though we can easily run a query on other GUIs, possibly pgadmin or in your ID, but with this now, anytime you want to create a new database, you can easily run this migration file. We'll be creating migration file with this very soon. We get there very soon. Okay, and then we have Prettier plugin for Tailwind CSS. This plugin is going to help us to sort our Tailwind classes. Okay, so that our classes follow a uniform layout. Okay, all right. So we have Tailwind CSS and the Tailwind CSS, and we also have TypeScript. By now our packages should fully install. Okay, so it is still running. All right, so while our packages are still installing, let's go through the project layouts. Okay, so most of the files and directories and pages we'll be working on, they are inside this source folder. We use this source folder to separate our working files from configuration files. All right, this .prettier file is the settings file for the Tailwind CSS plugin. Okay, so we have the source folder that is containing most of our working directories and files. All right, so here is our page. You have the root layout, and then you have the home page. Okay, we also have the component folder. Inside of the component folder, we have this UI folder. This UI folder is created by shardcn. All right, you already have all this in your project, in your starter file that you downloaded. So you already have all of this. So now this is a shardcn component. As soon as you integrate shardcn in your project and you install the toaster package, so you are going to have this Sonar created for you automatically, but it's already in your starter file anyway, so you don't have to bother about that. And most of the components we'll be creating, we'll also be creating them inside of this component folder. We also have the lib folder, so we'll be having most of our utility classes inside of this lib folder. Okay, and inside of this I included email templates, so we'll be using this email template. This is the email template for a verification mail and for reset password. So the first one is the verification mail. Okay, so this is the text template, and this is the HTML template. Okay, you know your email templates, they use inline styles. Okay, so this is the template, the email that you saw the other time when we were doing verification. So this is the template for it. Okay, so we are going to be passing some dynamic values like the confirmation link and all that. Okay, and after the verification mail, we also have for reset password. Okay, so this is for reset password. This is the text part, and this is the HTML part. Okay, let me see if okay, so our dependencies have been fully installed now. All right, okay, so just before we go in this video, let's set up our toaster. Okay, we'll be using the toast to give notifications to our users. Okay, so we're going to be setting up the toast in our root layout. Okay, so we come after this children, and right, so we're going to be rendering the toaster component. So we're going to import it from Sonar. VS Code is going to do the import for me automatically. Okay, so I'm going to close the component here, and we also need to pass some props to the Sonar component, toaster component I mean. So the first prop we'll be passing is rich colors. That is going to make our toast to have fancy colors, like you have green text for success, you have red for error, and then you also have the expand prop. You know, by default, if you have multiple toasts at the same time, the toasts will be they will be rendered one on top of each other. So this expand prop is going to ensure that the toasts are not rendered on top of each other. You have them aligned vertically. Okay, and then you also have the close button. Okay, so this is what we make. You know, we used the close button in our last video. So this is what we make the toast, each toast to have close button. All right, then we're also going to have duration. Okay, so we're going to set the duration to 10 seconds. That is 10,000 in millisecond. By default, I think it is 3 seconds. So we want our user to see our toast very well, right? So we are going to be setting it to 10 seconds. All right, and then lastly, we are going to be changing the font size of our toast. All right, so we're going to be changing it to 1 rem. All right, so I'm going to use Tailwind CSS for that. So that's going to be text base. Okay, all right, so this is supposed to be class names. So I've been wondering what could be the problem. So it is class names, not class name. All right, so that is going to give our title, the text on our toast, is going to give it a font size of 1 rem. I think by default it is less than 1 rem, maybe 14 pixels or 12 pixels or so. Okay, so that's going to set up our toaster for us. Okay, so that's all for this video. Okay, so in the next video we start working on the home page. So for that, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.